Greetings from Podcastville. We're back with an episode that I thought, no, it's all right, Michael. It's all right. We can do this. Okay, we got this. Greetings from Podcastville. This podcast is brought to you by our tremendous sponsor, Offit. Head on over to offit.com, punch in the code word paths, and you will receive some sort of discount on various anti-masturbatory devices. If coronavirus has been giving you bad habits and you need help breaking out of them, Offit's for you. They've taught me a tremendous amount. I'm sure they can help you too. Go with my personal favorite, the cayenne pepper sauce. Whenever you feel the urge, put that bad boy on your hands and do something more productive. Today's guest is my personal friend, Alex Bellos. He has worked in, I guess, the professional gambling industry in some way, shape, or form for the last, I want to say 10-ish years. Nah, it's more like 7-8 years. Due to the nature of his work, it's a bit hard to actually be open and forthcoming with everything, but I tried to just break down. I tried to get him to break down gambling odds, and I guess the theory on how you would want to become a professional at gambling. We don't really get too specific, but I think it's a very nice white bread basic understanding of gambling into professional gambling. You know, what's a professional gambler gonna be looking at when they see the odds? How can you develop a system that allows you to be more consistent and therefore professional, and not just, I guess, guessing? Like, what's gonna make you professional? Because to be professional, you've got to win most of the time. Otherwise, it can't sustain you. So yeah, we get into that. Alex also wanted to talk about I guess just shitty bosses and toxic sort of work environments. He's been in one or a few. I have as well. So yeah, so we got into that. And yeah, I think this is definitely one of the. I think this is the best that I am at as a host. So I've grown quite a bit, and actually, we're pretty lucky to even have this episode because I fucked up the recording, and I didn't realize that I actually had a backup recorder. So we do have that. I don't think the sound's going to be as good as it is right now in the intro because the mics that we were talking into were not actually recording. Oh, I mean, no, they weren't recording. They stopped recording after a minute. So we actually had a mic that was further away recording, so it's not going to be as crystal clear. We're not talking directly into the mic, but the mic is there. But fuck it, we make mistakes, we learn, we grow. Give it up for the great and powerful Alex Bellos. Can you hear me?
I can. Can you hear me?
I can. Has it been too much build up?
Yeah, I'm really nervous.
And now it's like, yeah, okay. Let's talk about something not nerve-wracking.
Wait, do we need it like introduce?
Nah, we'll figure it out.
Okay.
No
introduction?
No,
Sure.
We'll just talk, and
All
like I'll ask you like what you do at some point.
Okay.
So how was the? Did you see the Sean O'Malley fight actually?
I did not.
You didn't?
I got there late. I was
So who was fighting?
having lunch. I only saw the last fight. Miocic and Cormier.
Is he the guy whose balls were hot?
Yeah, I think. Yeah, probably. Like
Okay.
DC, I think.
How was it?
It was an entertaining fight. A few eye gouges made it a bit.
Really?
Not great to watch, but apart from that, it was good. I hate seeing that sort of. It's just nasty.
Cheaters.
Yeah, it's hard to know if it was actually an accident or not, but it sucks when you see someone get eye gouged and their eye swells up.
Oh fuck.
Yeah.
Okay.
Pretty nasty.
So full on like affected it as well.
Yeah, I think so.
What was I gonna See, oh, I actually saw like the first UFC like the other day.
Oh yeah,
That was fucking like
it's pretty crazy.
what's it called? It's like a 70s movie like
Yeah.
plot.
Yeah,
That was so good.
it is.
Fuck, I wasn't expecting that. Like,
It's cool.
yeah,
But Gracie
it was cool.
cleans them up.
Yeah,
He's
that was
easy to.
fuck. But they had like a fucking sumo wrestler. Like they had like a boxer with like one glove on.
Oh yeah.
That was really fucking cool.
Yeah.
And
Cool.
yeah, now it's like pretty professional and stuff.
How's your fighting going?
My fighting is going okay. I haven't really like I've sort of lost my sharpness because like I haven't been sparring, and yeah, man, you're just like I don't know when you're in it and you do it every day and like you spar maybe a couple times a week. You just like it's not like a bike. You can't just get back on it. Like you need to actually like fine tune it.
Yeah.
And then maybe after a month of fine tuning, it's like you're back. So like I'm still not back because I haven't, like, cause I don't have time to go to the classes. So like, which means I don't spar. But
Yeah.
I've been getting fit. But yeah, I'm not really really sharp anymore.
That's alright.
Well, yeah,
It's
I
no-
should say.
It's no big deal.
Yeah.
It's good to have a bit of fun,
Mm.
and you take it as far as you want to.
Yeah. Have you been doing stuff now that you're like back? Okay.
I keep easing into some exercises and then having like a little bit of a, bit of a twinge in the back, and then I'll go, okay, gotta take it a step back or 2 steps back and really be gentle, like really build the strength up, because I get carried away. I think, oh, I'm fine.
Yeah.
I'm gonna start doing whatever, and I go a bit too far, and then yeah, it's like, when I go too intense with it, it's like 1 step forward, 2 steps back.
100%. Yeah, I totally get that.
I just gotta really go slow at this stage, I think.
Are there like any special sort of exercises that you're doing that are like, you can isolate parts that aren't gonna fuck you up and then go really slow?
Yeah, so like the best thing I can do is just core workouts. So
Okay.
Things like yoga is probably
Too
the
much.
best for me.
Oh shit.
Like that sort of just not too intense, but like got to really build the core up. And
There's a lot of. Have you seen any of the? A lot of people have done like free videos essentially for like during quarantine. So you can just you like they'll be on YouTube or something.
Yeah, there's so much out there. I think that's with anything. Like if you want to learn something, the resources are available generally.
That's true.
For almost anything you want to do, which is pretty handy.
I guess I just bring it up because like I was doing a bit of yoga during quarantine.
Oh, cool.
Not that I was like staying home, but like all these videos came out and I was like, okay.
Yeah, it's good for your body.
Yeah.
I mean, it would obviously help to have an instructor there to correct your form, but like, you make do with what you got.
Yeah. The one time I did have an instructor, like, the one time I went to a yoga class, it wasn't like, they never came over and were like, oh, Michael, do this. They have to be at the front to do the moves, right? And then you just copy them anyway and you do a shit job.
To be honest, I've never actually been to a yoga class. But I imagine it, if your form's bad, well, the good instructors should go around and be like, hey, push through your shoulders, or hey, like your back's arched, should be straight, or whatever,
Yeah.
But I guess it depends on the instructor and how big the class is, and you may not get as much sort of one-on-one feedback.
It's just, I guess, because they have to always do the moves, right? Like, they got to show you the move.
Yeah, true.
Which is not like, I can't really think of many other classes where you're constantly being shown what to do and then you got to copy it.
Yeah, so maybe they don't have as much time to look at
Yeah.
what other people are doing because they're busy doing it. Yeah, that's very true.
Yeah, I didn't bring a towel, which was a fucking mistake.
Yeah.
Because I couldn't believe how much I sweat
Yeah.
during, just at what I thought was just a yoga class. But
You could always bring a towel.
yeah, now I always bring a towel.
I learned that from South Park.
South Park? What happened in South Park?
Oh, just toweling.
Well,
Toweling?
No, I haven't seen the episode. I've only seen a few.
Towel is just a character, and he's just don't forget to bring a towel.
Gotcha.
And it's just a thing for one episode.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
It's ludicrous.
Nice.
You should watch it.
I gotta get back into that.
Yeah.
I think I saw 2 seasons straight, and then I got distracted.
That's alright.
Yeah. So.
So,
Yeah.
I don't know.
we're like too aware that it's like it's all leading to like. Yeah.
Yeah, let's
like,
start. Let's get on
let's
topic.
just do it. Alright, so everyone's been working from home during lockdown and quarantine, and maybe not everyone's working anymore, but you've been working from home for how long?
About 2 years now.
2 years, yeah. So how does everyone, like, obviously it's like such a new thing for everyone.
Yeah.
What's your take on it?
Yeah.
Like after everyone's.
So yeah, I remember the early days when I first started working from home, and it was like really difficult sometimes to actually get any work done. So yeah, it does take some getting used to. I don't really have a schedule now. I should. I think for a lot of people, sticking to a strict schedule would work.
Yeah.
But for me, I sort of pick a schedule every day, like, because I get to choose my own hours.
Yeah.
I just got to get work done.
Yeah.
And pretty much on a day-to-day basis, like, I'll sort of set a schedule in the morning and then try to stick to that. So not a strict schedule, but it's like I'll wake up, if it's a beautiful day, I'll go, alright, at midday, I'm going to take a nice lunch break, go to the beach, which means I got to work from very early in the morning, and I might work a bit later into the evening, so that I can get my nice break to go to the beach or like go for a walk in the sun or whatever. And I sort of take it day by day, and I think that sort of angle works for me because I like keeping my options open. Yeah. And a lot of it's dependent on the weather. Yeah. If it's shit weather, I just stay in, just smash out heaps of work, and then have a bit of extra time on another day when it's nice weather and I want to get out, and it just takes getting used to.
I love that you said the schedule that you do at the start of the day, because I used to, like, when I was working from home, I never learnt it while I was working from home, but now that I only have like 2 days every week to work on my shit, I've only learnt it now that if I write my schedule at the start of the day, that's when I actually stick to it. If I write my schedule at the start of the week, I'm not going to stick to it. Yeah, I found that exact same thing, because I would set a weekly schedule and I would just never stick to it. Yeah. Because it'd be that odd, beautiful day. Exactly. I just cannot focus on work right now. Yeah. When I've got like all this amazing stuff to do. So I definitely find it works for me. It may not work for everyone, but just picking a schedule at the start of the day. I mean, you know how many hours of work you need to do in a day. Yeah. But sometimes I have no issue with working like late into the evening, like if I want an afternoon off or a morning off. I can do that, and then I'll work like sort of 5 p.m. till midnight, or like more than that, beyond, to make up the hours. Yeah. Sometimes I work till like 4 a.m. in the morning. Yeah. Because I wanted to take an afternoon or a whole day off and playing catch up or whatever, Yeah. But I think I definitely take it day by day. Yeah. And it works for me. But yeah, definitely the first sort of few months, it took some getting used to, for sure, because there's so many distractions at home. Yeah. Well, what little things did you, or like what were mistakes that you made, or what were things that you noticed that you could do to help? Or I think one thing that helped was having a completely separate desk for work. Yeah. I've got a laptop specifically for work and a desk for work. So in the early days, I was trying to do work on the same desk I had my personal PC on, right? Yeah. And that was a mess, because like just having the PC in front of me was just such a distraction. Or just sitting in that seat. It's like, this is where I sit to play games. But once I pushed the work to a completely separate desk, it was like, okay, when I'm here, I'm here to work. It's my workstation. Yeah. And it helps with getting rid of the distraction. Definitely. So that's one thing. It's probably that. Probably,
I can think of.
yeah. It's I think looking back on like your early days of working from home, people are gonna find so much simple shit where it's like, if I just don't do that, or if I just do this, like I'm gonna be so much more productive.
Yeah.
And it almost seems stupid, like saying, like our daily schedule works, which is I don't know, just like how, like we've been through it, so it makes sense. But if you're gonna start working from home and you're like, I'm gonna do a weekly schedule, it should be the same, right? It's really not the same. Like,
No.
now that you've said it as well, like I realize it's a thing.
It's so different when like you don't have to be at that place at that exact time that you're told to be there. It just changes everything.
Yeah.
Because you might want to do your meal preps in the during like at a more convenient time.
Yeah.
And then you might want to catch up with work in the evening.
Yeah.
And it's awesome to have that flexibility to be able to do that. And I think life just becomes more efficient once you have a bit more flexibility.
Yeah.
Which working from home generally allows. I know some people still have like strict shifts they have to work for, but like it depends on the job.
Yeah.
I think flexibility probably improves productivity and just not having to travel. Like so many people travel an hour each way or more to and from work. So if they do 5 days a week, it's 10 hours a week plus. Yeah. And also like getting dressed. Some people need dress up and wear a suit.
Do the makeup.
Brush their hair. But when you're working from home, you just roll out of bed and you work butt naked. That's not really not on a video call.
And you gotta wear a suit, but that's it.
Yeah, just the top half. I've actually heard some people think like if you're working from home, you should still dress like you're going to work to help get yourself in that mindset.
Yeah.
But that's something that I never really bought into.
I think for me, I noticed like if I just wear shoes, I know it's business time. If I wear socks or slippers, there's something inside my brain that's like, oh, we're having fun. Like, but there's something about tying up my shoe laces that I'm like, all right, like I tied up my shoes to go somewhere or to get something done,
Yeah,
like,
okay.
Something in my brain just clicks.
Yeah, I can see that. And there'll be little things like that for everyone. I mean,
Yeah.
everyone just needs to figure out what works for them, which takes a bit of practice. But it's not too hard. Just make it work.
Yeah, I noticed as well when I was doing the weekly schedules, I would feel very guilty if, let's say, like if I had to go to the mechanic, I would be like, nah, not going to the mechanic. It's not in the weekly schedule.
Yeah.
And then it's like that's gonna cause more issues. That's why like the daily schedule is like, all right, there's a bunch of shit that I can do that I have to just get out of the way.
Yeah.
And then I can do work as well. But it's like what work am I gonna do?
And shit just comes up as well.
Yeah,
which you don't expect. And sometimes, oh fuck, I've got to do this thing today. So you just make time for it.
Fucking prioritize that one thing.
Yeah. And it just more convenient.
Sick.
Yeah.
Sick. So now, alright. So basically, I want to try word this in a way that's like not gonna make you
It's okay. Just ask a question.
Oh no! Like
I'm
gonna break it down. Like essentially, you're like you work in professional gambling, right? Is that
or no?
No.
I used to work for a professional gambler.
Okay. Yeah, but
Now I'm a data analyst.
okay. For the purposes of.
Good for I basically do predictive modeling, so I use data to try to predict an outcome.
Yeah.
That hopefully would bring value to the company.
So like, how? I didn't even know professional gambling was a thing until you started doing it. So how much of a thing is it?
It's a huge thing.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, gambling is a $1 billion a year industry around the world, so it's huge money. As you know, I mean, you see ads on TV all the time for gambling. The thing is, people think of gambling as like, maybe like a dumb hobby or whatever. Like you can only lose. instead of thinking of it like gambling, we should think of it as a financial market.
Yeah.
Because there's money out there.
Yeah.
There's just a market full of money.
Yeah.
And like any financial market, you know, if you're smart about it, there is an opportunity to make profit. And yeah, that's what I've learned. Like, there are professionals out there who do make a consistent profit, and it all comes down to like building a good model
Yeah.
that stands up in the long run, which you can test. And now I've learned a fair bit of, you know, actual data modeling, and you know, it's not that hard to test a model
Yeah.
and see whether it's going to be profitable in the long run or not.
Yeah.
It's very hard to build a successful model, depending on what market you're trying to take advantage of. But it's doable. I mean, you know, people do it for the stock market, and people do it for the gambling markets, and all kinds of things.
At what stage do you like? At what stage does someone quit their day job and just focus on gambling? And like, how prepared do you have to be? Can you just be like, I'm gonna be a gambler, and like, you know, you just, you know, you've got like a pretty good knowledge of how whatever market, you know, if you want to do basketball, you're pretty good knowledge of that, and now you're focused on that, or do you have to write shit down? You have to do the maths.
So where I'd say a lot of people get unstuck is they might come up with their own little system, whether they watch every game and just, you know, give teams some arbitrary score or whatever. They come up with their system and they test it for a short period of time, and they go, oh, this works.
Yeah.
And then they start putting more and more money in, and they might come unstuck because maybe it doesn't work in the long run. Because there are all these, you know, trends and waves, and you can win. If you look at a period of 1 month or 3 months, you might win a fortune, and then extend that to 10 years ago, I'm going to be a millionaire. But you really got to test it over years, which is where, you know, to be professional about it, you really need to build the infrastructure, you know, collect the data and test on the data. You can go backwards, so if you can build a model around like past data, but you'll use, say, you know, data from 2017 to predict the results, you know, 1 week after, or like, there's no reason why you can't go back, as long as you get access to the data, test it across decades, you know, and then if your model stands up over decades, then you know you're onto something. Whereas if you notice, you know, it's up and down, but in the long run, doesn't quite beat the market or whatever, then well, that's the way to find out whether.
So that's like beat the market.
Yeah, I guess you gotta make a profit out of it somehow. Yeah,
and you've got to. Well, losing is part of that, right?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
You can't always win.
Yeah. So like, you can't just put in your life savings on the one thing that your fucking maths has predicted will happen. Because
there's no definite outcome.
Yeah.
There's always a chance. You know, it might be a 99.9% chance, but then there's still 0.1% chance of the other thing coming in, and you know, nothing's a sure thing.
So that essentially, I think. So I'm gonna just try give an explanation, and then like, you know, I'll probably be wrong or right, but if you can like elaborate on it and fill it in, it'll probably be better. So, you know, when you go to gamble, there's, you know, you've got the odds of, let's say, one team's gonna win. On the other team, so, you know, one team is more likely, therefore they're gonna pay out less.
Yes.
So what you've got to do is create something that is going to maybe be more accurate and not reflect what people are the money that people are putting in.
Yeah, exactly.
And then so if your odds are beating the odds that
like the market
odds, that's when you put money in, because it's like, it's a good deal essentially.
Yeah. So let's say it's a 2-horse race. One team's paying, or you know, say they're both $2. So that means they both have a 50% chance of winning, according to the market. You know, if I think one of the team has a 60% chance, then that $2 is good value. and on the flip side, the one with a 40% chance, that's not good value because you're
Yeah.
only getting, $2 is 50-50.
Yeah.
So it's all about predicting, like getting the probability that an outcome
Yeah.
is going to occur,
Yeah.
and then you compare that with the market, like what the market thinks the outcome is going to be.
Yeah.
Because it's an amazing thing that these financial markets are amazingly accurate. They're like incredible how accurate some of these markets can be for both like stock market and like gamblers and all that. They can be really, really accurate. And on top of that, you got organizations that take some of the money out. So like for gambling, it'd be bookies.
Yeah.
Because bookies always make money.
Yeah.
And they take from 15 to 20% of any bet placed.
Yeah.
So they make their profit, which
Yeah.
means there's less money to come back to the punter. And on the stock market is like, the banks charge a trading fee.
Yes.
So you still got to give some away just to get, just to
Join the
take
market.
a position,
Yeah.
just to join the market.
Yeah.
So you need to firstly give them money and then still make a profit.
By the way, you can breathe into this because that's why I love
Okay.
this thing. Cause
Oh, cool.
so it's like even if you breathe or like do like a little cough, it's not gonna be that bad.
Okay.
So
I've been
don't stress
trying-
out that you like
Yeah.
talking into it.
Alright, cool. Thanks.
Sorry, what were you saying though? I had to say it because I.
Yeah. I'm scared of, mouth breathing
Yeah.
all over the microphone. So it's interesting. I think a lot of people don't quite understand how important data is,
Yeah.
or like how well it can be used to, if not make predictions and like find trends,
Yeah. Fine, true.
because trends exist.
Yeah.
And data can tell you
Yeah.
sometimes, whether there is a trend in a certain thing. You just have to sort of go about it the right way, and like it would be very, very difficult for any one person to
Yeah.
actually beat a strong market. Like,
Yeah.
But it is doable. But generally you need more of like a team, a
Yeah.
team of analysts and stuff like that.
Is it just because there's so much information, or?
Yeah, heaps of information, and it's just difficult, so much competition.
Yeah.
So the reason why markets are typically accurate is because if anyone thinks there's an inaccuracy,
Yeah.
they can put their money down
Yeah.
and they push it towards being more accurate.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Whether it's just the everyday punter going, oh, I think that team's got a good chance, they shouldn't be paying $3, should
Yeah.
be closer to, so I'm going to put money on them.
Which I don't think people really think about, like the average person. They're not thinking about the chances. They're thinking about, I think this team's going to win. The end.
Yeah,
Like, I don't care what the odds are.
but when you get into more serious punting, it's more
Yeah.
like, oh, I think this team's going to win, but they're only paying $1.20.
Yeah.
So if I put $100 down, I'm only going to win $20. So,
Yeah.
Whereas on the flip side, there might be a $7 chance. I put $100 down to win $700.
Yeah.
So you go, you know what? I think that team's going to lose, but I don't think they're that much worse
Yeah.
than the favourite. So I'm willing to risk more money for a really big return.
Yeah.
So yeah, once you start talking to people who do gamble a lot, then they start talking about the odds
Gotcha.
a lot more. But yeah, if you barely put a bet on,
Yeah.
you just like you said, which team's gonna win? That
Yeah.
one, cool.
Yeah.
Chuck a few dollars on it and hope for the best.
Okay. Does having lots of people also help, because everyone's going to interpret information differently maybe, so by having more people there, you're checking each other.
So I never had any formal training to be a data analyst.
Yeah.
As in, I never went to uni to study this thing. I learned a lot of stuff on the job. I was lucky in that I worked for a company doing data entry for a while, and I sort of kept pushing for more, and they sort of eventually gave me more and taught me heaps on the job. And I did have training.
Yeah.
It was on the job training.
Yeah.
I think the reason why I'm still a data analyst now is because I am fairly creative.
Yeah.
And I don't have the amazing statistics background or mathematics or even, programming.
Yeah.
I know a little bit about that stuff. I know enough to do my job.
Yeah.
But I come up with ideas that maybe the other analysts haven't thought of. So it's sort of like, they could have one analyst come up with 5 ideas and all ideas for significant variables in determining whatever outcome they're trying to determine.
Should we make like an arbitrary example?
So pick a sport.
Boxing.
Boxing. Okay,
yeah,
cool. Boxing.
I understand that.
Yeah. So someone might come up with strikes landed.
Yeah.
The more strikes landed, the better boxer. Better the boxer's chances.
Of winning.
Of winning. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm getting a bit tongue twisted. Anyway, so you might say strikes landed.
Yeah.
And whatever, but then I'll come up with what about reach?
Yeah.
What about height?
Yeah.
What about age?
Yeah.
You come up with these ideas, and then you find the data and you test it. And you test it by doing what's called a regression.
Yeah.
And that tells you, firstly, whether these variables are significant or insignificant, like how significant they are.
Yeah.
So the regression will basically spit out a result that says, for example, for every extra centimeter of reach a boxer has, they have 1% better chance of winning the fight.
Yeah.
Or whatever, So it's just about coming up with ideas, and then someone might get really creative with an idea like, are they fighting in their hometown?
Yeah.
Or in what altitude are they fighting at? And what are they used to in their hometown?
So this is where the creativity comes in.
Yeah.
Because that's not even a stat that is going to appear on the TV.
Yeah, exactly.
So I'm going to say this person fights at this altitude or trains at this altitude,
exactly.
And this is where they're fighting. So this is they've got the reach and stuff. They've got that stuff.
Yeah.
But they don't account for. There's so much shit they don't account for.
There's literally infinite different things you could put in.
Yeah. Gotcha.
And so it comes down to firstly getting the data for it, but also having the idea.
Yeah.
So like I said, that's why I have my job. I think because I'm a bit more on the creative side, and there are way better analysts than me for sure. But if I just come up with those handful of factors that are significant that the rest of the team didn't think of, then they just add those things to the model, and off they go. It improves the model. That's why generally it takes teams.
Yeah.
Because the more people working towards something, you can generally have better results.
Yeah. So say, is the data always okay, so let's say we follow one boxer, and obviously after that boxer retires, a lot of data is going to be useless. Is that correct?
Well, not necessarily.
Okay.
Because I would use that past data to help predict future events. So, for example, this retired boxer, call it Mayweather.
Yeah.
He's gone 50-0.
Yeah.
I would have something like a number of consecutive wins as a variable.
Yeah.
And how good is that at predicting a result? Or
Gotcha.
Number of fights. Oh yeah, that'll do. So the next boxer that comes around is 49-0.
Yeah.
This is where it gets tricky, because if you get too specific, we call it overfit, or overfitting the data, or overfitting the model rather. if you get too specific, you can come unstuck.
Mm-hmm.
But things like that, it's a trend. It's
Yeah.
like this guy keeps winning. So the next fighter who comes around and keeps winning is probably going to keep winning.
In the same like way. So basically, if like every boxer that's gone 49-0 has gone the rest of their career undefeated.
Yeah,
that's
something
really
like
good
that.
data to indicate that anyone that gets 49-0 is probably going to keep going undefeated.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Well, once it gets to 30-0, then yeah, they're gonna just.
So it's like a bigger picture thing that you can take like that person's whole career as like another form of data.
Yeah, like if someone said, "Hey, can you build a model in boxing?"
Yeah.
I'd want data from the last 10 years if possible.
Yeah.
Or the more the better. And you just go back and look for stuff like that, and these trends keep popping up.
Gotcha.
And like it doesn't need to always, like I said, there's never a sure thing, but the model's just got to push you in the right direction.
Yeah.
Just to give you a better idea than what the market
Yeah.
has, because sometimes some of these markets they get really. They become inefficient sometimes when there's a lot of hype around the event, or if there's say one fighter has heaps of fans,
Yeah.
and the other fighter has very few fans.
Yeah.
One with more fans will probably get more money going in towards them to win, which means the price will shorten too much.
Does the market just start at like 1-1, like equal odds essentially?
Nah. Generally the bookies. Ooh, excuse me.
That's okay.
Sorry. Generally the bookies have their own models.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
To start off the prices. The thing with the bookies are they don't have to be as accurate.
Yeah.
They can have a very rough model.
Yeah.
And start the prices there, because as money comes in one way or the other, they adjust the prices so that they make sure they get a profit.
Yeah.
So they just need to start off with like a reasonable price, and if heaps of big money comes one way, then they just adjust accordingly.
So I haven't talked to him for a while now, but we'll just give him a shout out, Michael Chen. If you remember him, he used to bet on Dota when it like first started being available for betting.
Yeah.
And because it was just like I think such a new thing, I guess the bookies model wasn't that great, so he would bet on the likely scenario when it was like a good deal, but then inevitably the market would shift as well, and then he would bet for the other team because that meant that he just was guaranteed to make money because he had gotten a good deal for both teams.
So that's called arbitrage.
Gotcha.
And that happens a lot. It's easier to do on the smaller markets.
Yeah.
You said it was Dota.
Yeah.
Which, there's not much money on there. People do it for bigger markets as well.
Yeah.
And if someone's got enough money, they can sort of force the market in a direction that they want it to go as well. But that's where it gets crazy. But yeah, for the smaller markets, they're generally less efficient.
Yeah.
And less accurate. And so there's better opportunities to do stuff like that. But if you wanted to, put huge money behind it, you wouldn't be able to make much of an arb, because if there's, say $1,000 in the pool, all of a sudden you want to put, say $1 million. On one side, then you'll just drop the price to like $1.000. And or in some cases the bookies just will not accept your bet. They'll make your bet and go, no, you can have, a $500 bet or something max. So there's limitations to that. But generally the less money that's in a market, the less accurate the market is. Generally.
Yeah. I see.
Because as you go, as a financial market gets bigger, you get all these more, I guess, more powerful entities, is what, smarter money going into it, and
that's influencing it.
Yeah.
Cool.
Generally, the markets get more accurate as more money gets put in.
Interesting.
I wonder if you're still making money out of it.
Yeah, I haven't talked to him for so long, and
Yeah,
I
same.
fuck, just like I don't know if you like just lose contact with people or like everyone just has their own lives eventually.
Yeah.
Like you start off all
Perfect.
having the same life at high school, and then everyone's
Yeah.
you just gotta like keep. I don't know what the word is, like diverging. Like your paths just diverge naturally.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. Stuff.
Yeah. Stuff, things. I had all these ideas.
Give me an idea.
And I can't think of it.
Okay, gotcha.
In the last sort of couple of weeks, I've been, I gotta mention that thing. I gotta mention this.
Oh, dude, I was really stressed about it. Not really stressed, but like through each podcast I have learned something new. So the first podcast I wasn't prepared for at all, and then I was like, oh my god, there were 2 questions that I really wanted to ask, and they would have just taken like everything in like a really great direction. So I was like, all right, I'll write down the questions I want to ask, but then that next podcast I just was like people would be talking and I'd sort of be like, all right, shut up now, I want to ask my questions. Like you're going off too much off on a tangent, and like I think I've settled between like just have like half an hour worth of discussion points ready.
Yeah, cool.
And the rest will figure itself out.
Cool.
Yeah.
I've got a topic I'd like to discuss.
Let's do it.
How about asshole bosses?
Asshole bosses. Okay. All right, let's do it.
Do you want to? Have you had much experience with bosses?
Oh, absolutely. Because I used to, like, I've had like 30 jobs.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if you know, like, I've had heaps.
I don't know the exact number, but
Yeah.
I know
Like a stupid amount. And I always used to work for like small businesses, which means you're working for the owner of the business, which means like they're gonna be real fucking on your ass.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. Like it's like you and them, and then like you're the only, and then there's some other people maybe, but they've all got this like set task, and you're the only person that's like the shit kicker. So it's like your job is to do everything.
Yeah.
So it's like once something comes up, it's like you gotta fucking do it, and it's just a real awkward relationship. Yeah, and it wasn't until I started going to like bigger companies where I was like, oh, is this what a job is? Like you come in and you just do the work, and you don't really need someone hovering over you 24/7. Actually, that just doesn't make any sense in the real world.
Yeah.
So yeah, I've had a lot of, well, like I've had a handful of asshole bosses, I guess.
So I've had both extremes. So on the one hand, I've had the best boss ever, who was the gambler guy.
Classic.
On the other hand, I've had literally the worst piece of shit I've ever met in my life as being my job. That was when I was doing civil engineering.
Oh shit.
Student engineer.
Fuck.
I won't mention the name of the person.
Yeah.
Or the company. I should call him out.
Oh,
Anyway,
just to protect you. You know?
I'm not gonna do that.
No, it's alright. No one's watching anyway, so it's fine.
Yeah.
Like, no one's
No one's
listening.
listening to this.
He's my one viewer actually. It's that guy.
Yeah.
He's gonna fucking know.
Anyway, so I found that when I was working for that piece of shit boss, I just didn't care about the job because it was like, well, if I do the right thing, he's gonna treat me like shit.
Yeah.
If I do the wrong thing, nothing changes.
Yeah.
Treats me like shit, and he treated everyone like shit.
Yeah.
And you know what? That was actually a really toxic workplace. It's almost like the toxicity trickled down.
Yeah. Oh, dude, 100%.
Yeah.
Fuck.
It's fucking crazy how like these people underneath him were being really toxic. Where in a normal environment, there's probably no reason why they'd be toxic, but they're just it's just being in that environment. Even it made me a bit toxic. You know, just being in that environment. Then on the flip side, you get really good bosses. Always about positivity and being healthy. You'd always want his staff to be healthy. If anyone's sick, take time off.
Yeah.
As long as you need, get well, like that sort of thing. And the atmosphere in that sort of office was always just positive, and everyone would work hard.
Yeah.
As hard as they could. Like they'd all try to do the right thing.
Yeah.
Apart from a few exceptions, but if any employers listening to this, don't be a piece of shit, because trust me, it's not going to make your staff work any better.
I
In
mean,
fact, the opposite.
apart from like just being in a place where you have to deal with that, like apart from just how that is gonna, just extra stress, I guess, is gonna affect you. Like I've sort of learnt that we're like mirrors to each other, like human beings,
Yeah.
and I've noticed in some workplaces where it's toxic, I think because it's very illogical. Like why does one shit person like contaminate other people?
Yeah, it's like contagious,
Yeah.
isn't it?
It's like they see that person and then they'll even they'll make those comments like, oh, so and so is such a piece of shit, or so and so is such an asshole, and it's like, but you also see that person then doing things that are in line with what the person that they're judging would be doing, so it's like that person has it's just this twisted thing where it just fucking, like, unless you're going to be super conscious of it, it just sort of takes a hold on you, and then you're doing it before you even know it, and it's just like a circle that
Yeah,
can never be solved.
yeah, pretty much.
So
Yeah, it is like a bit of a spiral thing, and like
yeah,
they're toxic, which makes you toxic, and then, yeah, for sure, it is honestly contagious.
yeah,
And the flip side is also the same. Like they say, if you smile,
yes,
people around you just start smiling.
yes,
And laughter is contagious, and
Yeah.
stuff like that. It's like, it's amazing how the human mind works.
yeah.
Like yawning.
Oh
Someone
yeah,
yawns and someone else yawns.
yeah,
It's like magic, but it's a thing.
Absolutely.
It's a legit thing.
yeah,
So yeah, for sure, it's sort of it's all on whoever's at the top, the managers, or
oh yeah,
they got to set a good example, like a nice
Absolutely.
positive example for everyone,
yeah,
and hopefully weed out the toxic.
absolutely. Like I think it, like you can, man, it's real. Like you notice, not like a piece of shit boss, but you notice like a sort of an incompetent boss when they are deflecting responsibility.
Yeah,
It's like, man, you gotta like as you get higher, I think you just gotta suck up more responsibility. Like everything, I'm responsible for everything. Like I can do something about it. It's not just, oh, you're doing this. Like, dude, what the fuck? It's like, wait, how can I also take some of this on and like figure it out
Yeah,
with you,
yeah.
as opposed to just like,
yeah. Or it's like, if I'm the manager, so you fucked up,
yeah,
you're working underneath me.
mm,
Your two ways. I could either be, oh,
yeah,
you fucked up, you're
Yeah.
fucking worthless, or I'd be like, okay, you fucked up.
yeah,
Why did you fuck up?
yeah,
How can we learn from this? How can we make sure this fuck up doesn't happen again?
yes,
And obviously, the second one is way more productive than the first.
yeah,
So if I just berate you,
yeah,
you go home and feel like shit.
of course,
Nothing's been fixed, but
Yeah.
nothing's been,
absolutely,
Whereas if I go, okay, this fuck up happened,
yeah,
I'm meant to be managing you. I don't
Yeah.
want any more fuck ups. So
yeah,
let's
Yeah.
talk this out. Why did it happen? Might it be under resourced or whatever.
yeah,
Blah blah blah. You didn't know the job properly,
mm,
but let's try to fix it
yeah.
so that this doesn't happen again.
It's like, what do you want? Do you want me to do a good job, or do you want to complain?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because if you want me to do a good job, you'll figure it out as the leader. And if you want to complain, well, you do that as well. Like, so it's
Yeah.
just, but that's not gonna get.
Yeah,
Complaining
berating
isn't.
you doesn't
It's
help.
two different things.
Yeah.
It's not the same. Actually, I wanna, now that you've triggered this memory,
Yeah.
there was like one job I had where I was like giving you a lift home, and on the lift home, you convinced me to quit.
Oh no way.
Yeah. I don't know if I told you, but I was like, I'm gonna quit now. It was like the bar job. Do you remember that conversation in the car?
Oh fuck. Not really, eh?
I had a bar job for about 6 months, and I didn't remember any of the cocktails. Like I didn't know how to, like I didn't remember how to mix them.
Yeah.
And because I was just so, I don't know, I couldn't step outside and realize what was going on. But I think I brought it up twice. I brought it up twice. No, I brought it up 3 times. Like I emailed, like obviously they were giving me shit for not memorizing the cocktails.
Yeah.
And then one time I brought it up with the bar manager. I was like, hey man, like I've actually written out the cocktails to my knowledge. Can you correct this, please?
Yeah. Now that you're telling me about this, I remember a conversation
The second time I brought it up, I just he didn't want to do it, which is fair enough. He doesn't want to work from home when he's not getting paid. Second time I like brought it up again to him and to the manager, and I was like, let's just have a chat about it if we can. We had a chat, and it was basically like, you've got to memorize them, and like you already have the menu for them. You already have the recipes for them, so you should be able to memorize them. And I said something to the effect of like, I can't know what I don't know, which is like, to my knowledge, I've memorized them, and that's why I've also written the recipes. Can you double check them? Because to my knowledge, the recipe book that you have is wrong. Like, I am being corrected. I'm memorizing something according to the book, then I have to memorize that recipe a different way because someone is correcting me.
Yeah.
And then the next time I brought it up was like to the bar supervisor, and he was like, all right, dude, we've got to get to the bottom of this. So he fucking took the recipe book to the manager and was like, we got to go through what's right and what's wrong right now, like figure it all out. And essentially everything in the recipe book was right, and all the fucking staff had different recipes and were like teaching me different recipes. So every time someone else would see me, they'd be like, Michael, you're doing it wrong. I'd write their recipe down, I'd remember their recipe. Next time someone else would see me, Michael, you're doing it wrong. Here's the recipe. Meanwhile, I think I've gone crazy. You know, through all these, through like my interactions with the bar manager and with the restaurant manager, they didn't fucking help. And it was only when I finally got to the bar supervisor, he was like, all right, like obviously,
there's a problem.
Let's get to the bottom of this.
Which is how, you know, they should have been from the start. Like, everyone along the line should have been like, okay, if Michael is unsure about this, that means either our training system is not right, or like there's some issue here. You know, and it wouldn't have been hard for someone to just have a good think about it, and well, like, why don't they have the exact recipes on hand?
It was on hand. It was on hand, but everyone thought that the recipes was different to the recipe book. So really, the solution was everyone fucking take the recipe book home. The recipe book is correct. Remember, that's it. Like, I've actually done I've memorized the fucking recipes correct, but because everyone is watching me, they're like, that's wrong, because they have not, maybe it's changing their head over time or whatever. But it was like that night I was just like, fuck it, I don't need this, man. I'm figuring out like problems that are just like beyond my pay grade, and it's like I don't want to go and like get graded essentially, like. So.
And you ended up quitting that job, obviously.
I was just like, man, it's just too much. Like I'm not fucked.
Sometimes if it's not working out, you just gotta make a change, however you can. And move on to the next thing.
It's another thing where, like, relating back to, you're looking from the outside into your old engineering workplace where you can see the problem. But you say in the moment you sort of became a little bit toxic as well. It's so hard to just take a step back and take a look inwards at what is really going on.
It's taken me a long time to realize. I mean, I always knew the guy was a piece of shit and like the workplace was shit. Just negative environment. I always knew that, even being there. Like, piece of shit. But like, it took me a few years, and also experiencing the flip side. To really realize like the sort of effect that had on me as a person. Like at the time, I was heaps depressed and just not enjoying life at all. Like it was just a really negative time in my life, and pretty much stemmed from those work conditions. Which sucked, and people shouldn't have to go through that. You can't always enjoy every moment, especially work. But you shouldn't be subjected to, these horrible conditions unnecessarily.
Like you're with the people there to work together towards something, not to fucking fight each other. Like,
exactly, and if I had my time over again, I would have done things way differently. That was one of my, first few jobs. I don't know, it might have been my fourth or fifth job in total, but still, like, we're still learning about life.
Of course.
Learning how to assert myself.
Yeah.
Nowadays, if I had a boss who tried to treat me like shit, I'd just call him out straight away.
Yeah.
Like, you can't do that to me.
Yeah.
You can't say those things to me.
Yeah.
You better cut it out, otherwise you're gonna have fucking issues.
Yeah.
You know, I'll fucking raise hell
Yeah.
if I have to. If you,
And
you know what I mean? Like,
and like the more, like, because I've only worked for like a handful of big companies, and it's like there are like HR is a thing, and there are managers above your manager that you never see, but you have their email address whenever you feel like like leadership is in question, or whenever something fucked up is happening that you can't really bring to your boss because your boss is the fucked up thing. I don't know. Yeah.
I wish I kept a bit of a journal, just wrote down all the horrible things. There's so many like sexist comments,
Really
racist comments, just fucking calling people cunts. Like, wasn't all to me. It's
but it's
if
just
if I'd written down everything.
That's actually like evidence then, right?
Oh, yeah.
Like that's evidence should HR or other fucking factors that I don't know about. Cause
Oh yeah, you just write down the date and the time, and hopefully there are a few other people in the office that overheard it, and then come up with a huge list, and then if shit ever hits the fan, you go, look what I got.
Dude, that's every time I go on Reddit and like there's something fucked up happening, the top comment is always like, keep a journal of everything that's happening right now.
I think it's good advice.
Yeah.
And hopefully you're not in a situation where you're one-on-one with this toxic person.
Yeah.
Because if there are other people around, they can corroborate the story. If you're one-on-one, it gets tricky. But I think you just always got to stand your ground. And if they threaten you with firing you or whatever, sometimes if that's the worst that happens.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people can't afford to get fired, but but really, like, what are you gonna do? Hate your life?
You gotta exactly, man. You gotta be proactive. Like, that's the thing. Some people will be like, I'm gonna go into work anyway. I need the money, and maybe I'll find it. I don't know. The thing that you gotta realize is you can't, just because you're aware of the problem doesn't mean you're immune to the problem. Like, you going to work every day into that environment, that is taking an effect on you that you can't see.
Yeah,
like,
for sure.
Very minuscule, but it adds up over time, and it will fucking break eventually. Like, you can't just you can't you're not immune to it. You're not immune to the problem that you are aware of. Like, it's still taking its toll on you.
Sure. I had a thought. Oh yeah, and if you sort of let it happen, then things won't change.
No.
That was gonna be my comment.
Yeah.
So you need to be proactive in making change. Whether that's having a difficult chat to your boss or whatever, or you go to HR, or you quit your job.
Yeah.
Like, if you just shouldn't be in that sort of negative environment. And at the end, like, if you're gonna
I don't think I've ever changed anything. Like, I don't think I've ever like changed anything because of being in an environment. Like, I've either like just brought up my frustrations, and like it's it's just that and that in me bringing up my frustrations. I'm like, I did something, or I just quit. But it's never really been like, hey, this is a problem, we need to change it. Like, or can we change it? Or like, I've never been the change that I want to see or whatever.
To be fair, I haven't either. Aside from just quitting.
Yeah, exactly.
That's been my solution. I quit and just apply for another job, and but it obviously depends on the workplace.
Yeah.
Some people have more power than others. It really depends.
It's just sometimes it's really not worth it. I don't know, depending on the work, like, there's probably 2 workplaces that I can think of off the top of my head that I could have, not that there was something wrong there with both of them, but there were 2 workplaces where I felt like I could have like had a legit talk to someone and figured something out if something was wrong, as opposed to just being like, I gotta quit, or I just gotta quit. Like, so it's a rare thing, I think, to be in a job where something toxic or something that needs to be fixed or changed is happening, and you can actually do something about it. Just according to my experience, it's a rare thing.
Yeah, that makes sense. I think from my experience too, and that's why your solution and my solution as well. Is just to quit
Yeah.
and find something else. Because I mean, say my toxic boss, even if I had the hard chat with him,
Yeah.
say I kept a journal and I
Yeah.
showed him the journal and I
Yeah.
said, listen, cut out the shit. Otherwise, I'm gonna take this to HR or the managers or whatever.
Yeah.
You know. Yeah, he probably would have cut out all the toxic talk, but he still would have done whatever he can to probably make my life hell, or even
Yeah.
like he would have, tried to get revenge somehow
Yeah.
because he's that sort of person.
Mm.
So yeah, the best option was just to quit, I think.
Yeah.
But then again, it doesn't always have to be like that. I mean, maybe the threat of, him losing his job might have really knocked a bit of sense into him. I don't know.
I think as you get like more fancier jobs, there's literally people whose job it is to take care of things like this.
Yeah.
So it's like you can just go to it's their job to be a third party, and you just go and tell them, and I don't know. I guess they like open up the avenue to get it figured out, but yeah, I've never really.
Yeah.
I've never had those types of jobs where it's been like an office and
Yeah. It'd be different.
structured
from
and
company to company, for sure.
I should get a HR person on here one day.
Yeah.
'Cause,
Yeah. That.
I don't know. I barely
Yeah.
understand it. Like,
Yeah.
but yeah, that's a thing.
Yeah.
How to problem solve what we're talking about in a productive manner, as opposed to just quitting.
Yeah, for sure. Oh well, I mean, there's always some option.
Yeah. No, absolutely.
Some people might feel helpless,
Yeah. Yeah.
but there's always something they can do, even
Yeah.
if that's just quitting.
Yeah.
Tell your boss to get fucked
Yeah.
and quit. And,
It depends what you need, man. Like, I understand if you need the money, but you gotta start making other plans. You gotta start at least applying for other jobs. You gotta.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, you
You
can't
gotta
just
start the journal.
Yeah, you gotta.
Yeah. Start being proactive about making the change, rather than just copying it.
Yeah.
And feeling like shit.
I've been in the position where I'm like, I can take this, and it's fine. Like, maybe I could have taken it, but in more recent years, I've been like, look, I can take this, but I have to be aware of that. This is gonna have an effect on me.
Yeah.
Like, however minuscule over time, it's gonna eventually add up. It's gonna like.
And you shouldn't have to take it.
You should no, you shouldn't have to. But I want to bring up the example of like that saying where it's like you are the 5 people you're closest to. Like you're the sum of them.
Yeah.
Which, like, if that is anything to be considered, work apart from like sleep, work is probably what we're going to be doing most.
Yeah.
So if that is where you're going into every day, it's gonna have some sort of effect, and you just
Definitely. It's not good.
It's not. It's not. Like you more and more like man, I've just seen it in. I've seen it in jobs where people complain about the person, but they're also that person as well. They become that person, and it's just like they don't even realize.
It's contagious, man.
Yeah.
The toxicity spreads. It's not good. Just like fucking coronavirus.
You go for it.
I was gonna say, with so many more people working from home, it's probably helped a lot of, helped in terms of reducing the amount of workplace harassment and stuff like that, which is probably a good thing.
Yeah.
I wonder if some of these changes might be permanent.
Oh man.
Hopefully, the new norm is like if you can work from home, you should be allowed to work from home.
Yeah.
Just gives less opportunity for the people who want to be dickheads.
That's true. I think from like an efficiency point of view, it'll happen. It's just it doesn't make sense. People like right now there are offices that are empty and the rent is being paid for them.
Yeah.
And the work is still being done. Like regardless, it's just people. Yeah, we do a lot of things because we think we have to do them, but once the trend starts to change and you see that you can do things differently, people start to think outside the box, think about what they want, think about what they can do with their situation,
which is good.
and yeah, maybe a lot more people work from home.
Yep. Hopefully. I'm all for it.
Yeah. What's your relationship like with your boss now? With
My current boss or my old boss? Or
yeah, with your current, like, how does it work?
current?
How do they keep on top of you? How do you guys like communicate? How do they communicate what
Just,
you need to do?
online. It's all just use Signal.
Yeah.
Just messages back and forth, phone call back and forth. That's pretty much it.
Yeah.
I'm pretty lucky in that my job, they pretty much leave me to my own devices. Like, they don't get on my back.
Mm.
They just sort of give me the data, they tell me what they want out of it, and
Yeah.
they go, do your best. And I do my best. And I think in that sort of environment, that's where I actually can produce my best work. And if I have any questions or whatever, they're always there to, bounce ideas back and forth, or if I get stuck on something, they help me. I think I do some of my best work when I'm just like left to do it. They just say do that, and I just do it. And I don't like being micromanaged.
No, yeah, absolutely.
I find it can be a bit detrimental. Obviously, depends on what you're doing. Like some jobs you do need to work alongside someone, and then working from home could be a bit more complicated. But I'm pretty happy with my work environment at the moment.
Yeah. No, I've always felt great when I get to work, and when you get to work and there's no one there to be like, this is what you got to do, you got to do this, you got to do that, you got to do that. You sort of just like wake up and you're like, oh shit, I got to do this, I got to do this, I got to do that.
Yeah.
And then now all of a sudden you're like fucking developing like the ability to work unsupervised.
Autonomously, exactly. Which is awesome. Because a lot of the time, you know your role.
Yes.
You don't need to be told every single thing that you need to do. You know your role. You know what needs to be done.
Actually, now that you've said that, I'm realizing that like the jobs where, like, there were jobs where it's like I didn't know my role, and it's like my role was to do everything that the owner didn't want to do, so and that's when it became like micromanaging. Yeah,
and that's a pretty shitty role.
Yeah.
That role where you don't have a role, that's fucking shit.
Yeah.
I think. But if the training was good, if the role was an actual role, and then you wouldn't need to be micromanaged.
No. Exactly. Very true.
Because you someone should be trained to do their role, and once they're trained, then off they go.
Yeah.
And, a few, of course there are always exceptions, and something happens out of nowhere, and oh shit, drop everything, we need to do this, and like that's fair enough. But yeah.
As far as your job, like your day to day.
Yeah, people should know their job and just do it and get on with it, and not have someone over their back, the whole time harassing them or just micromanaging them.
Yeah, that was definitely when I started to really like become a good worker, was when I was in those roles where I actually had a role and I could maybe like they're there for like the first 2 weeks and like training me, they're over my shoulder, but then once I knew how to do it, it's like, if I don't do this like right now, we might be fucked. Like if I don't do my job and there's no one there to tell me or to watch me or to it's like, whoa, shit, like I'm actually capable of stuff. I don't know. Stuff just changed in my head where I was like, because like I said, like I'd been in those jobs for so fucking long. And I remember the first job I had, like where I sort of learned to become a good worker, like Starbucks. I remember the supervisor was like, why are you acting this way? Why are you doing this? Like I would always I just had this like air about me that I was like being like subservient and like I was being like a bitch essentially. Yeah. And it's like, what are you doing? And I was like, what am I doing? Like, I'm just doing the thing that I know how to do, which is like be the shit kicker.
Yeah,
like,
right.
That's the air that's my air that I'm like, that's
well, that's what you were used to, because you were the shit kicker.
Exactly.
Which No one likes being the shit
No.
kicker.
No, but then
Sometimes you gotta start somewhere. I've done the shit kicker thing.
I didn't even realize that was like, I don't know. I just didn't even think that I was capable of. Not that I was capable, but that I just assumed that every time I get hired for like a new job, I am the shit kicker.
Yeah.
And then if I want to stay there for like 5 years or something, I won't be the shit kicker because there'll be another guy that gets hired or some shit.
It doesn't have to be.
At Starbucks, they were like, "Nah, bro, you gotta get trained because like I don't want to be over your shoulder."
Yeah.
Like, in fact, once you get trained, you're gonna start telling me what to do because I'm not gonna. You're gonna be out there. You're gonna like be seeing what needs to be done.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta call me if I need to do something. And I was
Yeah.
like, "What? I tell the supervisor what to do?
Yeah, cool.
That's fucking crazy, man."
Mhm.
Like it was just like everything that I.
But it's good. You had your role,
Yeah.
your responsibilities. You knew what had to be done.
All the shit that I had learned just got taught out of me, like at that
Yeah.
job. And
Yeah, good.
fuck, it was good. Felt
Good.
Felt good.
Mm.
I'm pumped right now.
Yeah. So yeah, all the shit kickers out there, just use your experience to get into a new job with an
Yeah.
actual role, and then don't be the
Yeah.
shit kicker anymore. Fair enough. I think that's one of those things everyone has to do for a little bit.
It's
If you're unqualified,
yeah,
fresh out of high school,
Oh,
or
yeah.
whatever, sometimes you just gotta kick a bit of shit.
kick a bit of shit.
You get used to it.
If we had a
But
team,
don't get stuck kicking shit for too long or for like indefinitely, because fuck that.
oh man, if I had like a t-shirt store, that would be like one of the t-shirts. That would be the first t-shirt.
What?
Sometimes you just gotta kick some shit.
Like with a little cartoon drawing of
Yeah.
someone kicking
Oh,
like
man.
an emoji poo.
Yeah,
I would buy that t-shirt.
that's fuck. Oh man, yeah, man. I think you're absolutely right. I think for me, like the transition was to working for bigger companies or corporations where you're a team. I reckon doing that for a bit, at least like early on. If you're gonna get a shitty job, like a job to get you by,
Mm.
that maybe you're not gonna be doing forever. I recommend at least once going into like a big company because I think there's a lot more room for like being autonomous and you learn how to do that.
Yeah, I'm just thinking back to my experience in a big company. I've only really worked for one huge company. That was also a civil engineering
Oh, is that, yeah.
like internship, where I was the shit kicker there, but like doing more, I guess, productive shit.
Yeah, productive shit.
But I had like so many different managers. It was like
Oh, yeah.
you're part of this team
Yeah,
and you work for everyone.
yeah.
And so sometimes I'd get so much work thrown at me,
Yeah.
and it taught me how to work and how to manage my time, and also like you sort of learn how to work. I don't know. It was a good experience, but then I also found that maybe some of these really big companies sort of use you like you're a resource.
Yeah.
You're not so much a human being. You're like just a resource
I
that
think
the company owns,
yeah.
and you just
I think that the difference here is like, sure, it's the company's job to make me a resource, but then it's like my leader's job to treat me as a person, sort of thing.
yeah. And it's
Like-
a very valid point,
Yeah.
and that's where good managers and leaders can really, make or break a job.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've heard other people, share their experiences working for big companies, and like they could do ridiculous hours hoping for a promotion,
Oh, yeah.
and then the promotion goes to like the manager's mate,
Yeah.
and then they're like, "Fuck, I just did all this,
Yeah.
worked my ass off for this company, hoping I'd get that promotion,
Yeah.
didn't get it." That sort of thing does happen a lot more in big companies.
Yeah.
Still, I'm not saying it's a bad thing to work for a big company, but
I think,
Just throwing
yeah,
that
I bring their
out.
example up, like, if you're gonna be a shit kicker, like, my first job was like a bakery. If I was gonna be a shit kicker and a baker, I probably would have learnt more working for Baker's Delight.
yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Than like fucking Joe's Bakery down the street.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, where he's like, oh, go fucking move my car.
yeah.
Pick up my kids from school.
Yeah, exactly,
Like, this isn't
exactly.
work.
Yeah.
This has nothing to do with baking.
Oh,
Yeah.
fuck. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's what I...
Fuck, I got bats in my basement.
Oh, fuck.
Michael, go clean the bats out of the basement.
Oh, fuck. I'm trying to think. I think there was a time where I washed my boss's car. Like, I think there was Oh, fuck. It's like, oh, there's no work to do today. Just fucking... Like, yo, I'm paying you for your time, right? I'm not paying you to do your job. Like, you don't have a job. Like, I'm paying you for your time. While you're here, you're my slave, right?
Yeah.
Like, whatever I say, that's legal.
It's a bit, sometimes.
Yeah, it was... Oh, man. Yeah, fuck. Yeah, actually, like, I remember being at Starbucks some days, like, if it was a Sunday and it would rain, no one would ever come. One time we got 8 customers in my whole 8-hour shift.
Wow.
Yeah, I served 8 customers, and I remember, like, the supervisor being like, do you want to go home? And I'd be like, nah. And we just spent the whole day, like, drinking coffee, like, you know, talking,
cool.
hanging out. It's like, you know, the inefficiencies of, you know, if I was working at the fucking Joe's fucking coffee store, like, down the road, they would have been like, good, Michael, go home. Like, that's it.
Yeah.
There's no, like, or wash my car.
Or, yeah.
Like, you know, it's one or the other. Like,
clean,
but at
clean
the big company, I was like, no, my job is to fucking make coffees and you know,
and
like,
that's it, yeah. Fair.
yeah, whatever that entails, like, you know, cleaning the cafe and all that shit. But if there's no customers, like, you can do a coffee tasting. You can there was all this other shit, but like, well, we just have to hang out.
Yeah.
That's what we got to do. There's nothing.
But no fucking.
No washing
doing
cars.
laundry.
No doing laundry.
Yeah, no, that's good. That's how it should be. I mean, when people get a job, they get, you know, a role, and
Yeah.
you know, they should be getting a description of the role,
Yeah.
like what the job entails,
Oh my gosh.
what's expected, and you know.
I love the descriptions that are like fucking long as shit.
Yeah, how about as part of the description where it's like, you know, any other duties?
Yeah,
fuck.
fuck.
And then that's when Joe, the baker, starts getting you to wash his car. But yeah, you know, it happens. Sometimes you got to deal with shit for a while, but I think it's important for people to just not deal with shit for too long. If your environment's really shit, then you just make a change or work towards a change for the better. For the
better, definitely.
But also learn from your experiences. And sometimes it's shit like, if I could have my time over, you know, do I wish I never had that shitty job? Like, probably not, because like I probably would still take that shitty job.
Yeah.
Because it taught me so much about like what not to do.
Yeah.
And what not to accept.
Yeah.
Going forward. Like if ever I'm an employer or I'm a team leader or whatever, I'm not gonna be, well, I hope I'm not gonna be a toxic degenerate piece of shit like my boss was, because I know I did not do my best when I was working there, because I didn't give a fuck. You know.
Absolutely.
I did my best when I had, you know, a really good, positive work environment. So now, if I ever run my own business, I'm gonna do what I can to make it a positive workplace. So yeah, I think some of those experiences are good to have, even if it's a shit time.
Absolutely.
But yeah, just don't like fucking can't get stuck there.
No, don't get stuck there. I like, you know, I used to think a lot about would I do things differently, and I would always what's it called? It would be very hard to decide, and I fucking heard this quote from Guy Ritchie, who said it goes something to the effect of, "You're enough. You've always been enough, but you've got to prostitute yourself out like before you realize your own value." You know? Yeah. It's like, so essentially, like, I would have never have realized what I'm not going to put up with if I didn't put up to it at the threshold of like my limit,
Yeah.
and that's where I'm like, you know what, this is beneath me. Fuck this, I'm out of here.
Yeah.
And that's when I'm like, you know what, all the shit I went through, it's good because it got me to this stage where I'm like, you know what, this is beneath me. I need to do more photography. I need to do more filmmaking. I need to do more writing. And it's like if my jobs weren't so shit, I would be less motivated to do the shit that I am actually worthy of. But I just needed to be a prostitute for a while to realize.
Yeah, it's interesting. But yeah, it's good to experience many different things and then just learn what works, what doesn't.
Exactly. It's good as well while we're like way younger, because you just got more time to burn and fuck around with, and doesn't matter, like your
it's all
youth is
part
for making mistakes. And
yeah, exactly. It's all part of just growing.
Yeah. What's on your mind?
Nothing. I feel like we've covered a lot.
We have covered a lot. Do you feel like there's anything else that's like major? It's like some major job stuff or gambling stuff?
No, just more generally, I feel like, unfortunately, in the world we live in, there's too much emphasis on money and profit.
Yes.
And it's a bit of a shame that it's got to be that way.
Yeah.
And we could talk for hours about that sort of thing, but
actually I got some you've already like sparked some shit up in me. Going back to like the small businesses that I used to work at, the owners, like, if the shop doesn't make money, the owner doesn't make money.
Yeah.
The owner's at the business, it's his job as well.
Mm-hmm.
So if the business doesn't make money, he doesn't get his wage. Forget about the profits, like he doesn't even get a wage.
Yeah.
So there's something in their head where they're like stressed out about making money. And the more I went to big companies, I would learn, like, you know what, if I'm going to open a business, say like a cafe, like I'm going to be prepared to not make a profit. Like I got to be prepared to not make my money back for X amount of time, because if I start falling into those bad habits of like, oh, it's not busy, like you go home or you wash my car, or like essentially you don't do your job, then what happens when all of a sudden 10 people walk in? Now we're understaffed. Now we can't serve them properly. 10 people have just had a bad experience. 10 people aren't coming back. 10 people aren't going to recommend this place to their friends.
Yeah.
I think people get caught up in like a lot of the day-to-day. Have we made a profit today? But it's like you gotta be ready to not make a profit today, to look at the bigger picture.
Yeah.
And then to sort of implement something that's going to serve the bigger picture, which is like not just worrying about like the profit that you're going to make today, worrying about the experience of the people that are coming in.
How about adding a bit of happiness to the world?
Fuck yeah.
Instead of just trying to make money.
Yeah.
Easier said than done.
Yeah, like what's the point of this business? Like, is it to I don't know, like if
you know what the fuck thing is and what stops that from being a thing? Because there's so much competition out there.
Yeah.
In every industry. And any business that opens pretty much has to compete with these other businesses that are doing the exact same thing.
Yeah.
Those businesses are out there to make money.
Yeah.
Which means if you come out there not trying to make money, but trying to, improve lifestyle or whatever, then like you're pretty much guaranteed to make a loss.
Yeah.
It's like people are paid to some extent based on like what's the cheapest someone can do that job for.
Yeah.
Like that's pretty much what people get paid.
Yeah.
It's not necessarily what someone's worth. It's more like, what does the market determine a suitable wage for that role? It's a bit of a strange thing.
Like whenever I talk about what would you do if you won the lottery, my answer is always like, I'd open this business, I'd open that business, and people are always like, oh, but that wouldn't be profitable. I'm like, I don't care, man. I want that thing to exist.
Yeah.
For the purpose, like, you know, I want like a midnight diner to just exist somewhere.
Yeah.
Like, I know. Yeah. No one's. I know. I understand that not many people go there, but for the like few people that go there at like 2 a.m., 3 a.m., 4 a.m., they're gonna be like, fuck, I can't believe this. They're just gonna feel amazing. Like, I wish I had like someone to go to. Why? Like back when I would stay up and like I was a night out, I wish I just had someone to fucking go to.
Yeah, I've been thinking that a lot recently. Like, go for walks late at night, because I do work a fair bit late at night.
Yeah.
Sometimes like, man, I wish that this cafe was open at 2 a.m.
Yeah.
It'd be so good. Just get
Absolutely.
bacon egg roll and a coffee at 2 a.m.
Yeah. Sit inside, like it's a nice calm environment. There aren't like it's not a crazy day. It's just some nice jazz music.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Like maybe
chat.
Yeah. There's time for a chat.
Yeah.
There's not a fucking line out the door. It's like more of a relaxed.
Yeah,
we're hanging out, like having fun.
Mm.
Maybe I won't make a profit because it's just you and me tonight, but fuck, like, come on, I've sort of made your night. Like, fuck.
Yeah, it's a shame that so much of society revolves around money and profit.
Yeah.
I mean, you got these 1%ers with billions.
P.S.
Stupid.
Are we part of the 1%?
No way.
I think.
No, it's a handful of people. No. We might be part of the top 10% or something.
Yeah,
in Australia.
I heard, I don't know, like, I don't know my shit. I don't know my shit well enough, but apparently if you're like...
Hang on, just let me stop you.
Yeah.
Do the maths.
Do the maths, okay.
So, how many people on the planet?
6.6?
7?
So, yeah, I should say 7.
This is 7 billion.
By the time this gets out, I'll be 7.
Yeah. So, 1% of 7 billion is 70 million.
70 million. Oh, okay. I see where you're going.
Flown the 1% on that.
I see. Yeah, I sort of see where you're going with this. I think it's like shifted a bit more in your favor, but maybe if we just had, I need like a guy to just fucking give a shit.
Yeah. I feel like we're not the 1% that's talked about. We're not 1% that's grouped, right? It's more like the
we're not, but
billionaires.
Yeah, that's definitely what gets talked about. But I feel like we have to be close to the 1%.
Oh yeah, we're definitely closer to the 1%
close,
than we are.
right?
Being like I said,
there's like a point.
Australians with jobs were already wealthier than
that's
like
it. Exactly.
a huge majority of the population.
Yeah, very fucking lucky.
Yeah. And just on that note, I think our actions can and do sort of drive the market, might drive civilization.
Yeah.
So if everyone collectively starts thinking a bit more about like, the factory where they make iPhones.
Dude, yes.
How are the staff treated? Not well? Okay, maybe I'm not gonna buy that iPhone or whatever the product is.
Yeah.
If everyone starts thinking about that, then they can, potentially start changing the world.
I think the issue is that everything that's affordable is made in that environment, because the reason it's affordable is because the people aren't getting paid anything.
Yeah. It's sort of like they paid people like the minimum amount to make the product be purchased. Yeah. It all comes back to maximizing profits. So they're like, by making this product cheaper, we can sell, 10 times the amount.
Yeah.
But then to make that product cheaper, we need to pay the staff way less. Yeah. So how can we make that happen? Oh, by you go to China or whatever, where sweatshop.
Yeah.
Cool. That's what we're gonna do, because that's how we're gonna maximize profits.
Yeah.
It's fucked.
Dude, my mom's. I still have my mom's old Nokia. It works.
No way.
It works.
That's amazing.
How many fucking smartphones have I gone through?
Yeah. Too many.
These.
Yeah.
It's not in people's interest to it's not in companies' interest to make shit that lasts.
Yeah.
Because you want to sell it again.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's Apple has like gotten caught like throttling speeds of older phones.
Yeah, I've heard about that.
Like it's in these fucking companies' interests to sell the product again.
Oh, for sure. So much tech's designed to break.
And I don't know, man. Like personally, I would rather pay $2,000 for a phone that lasts for X amount of time rather than I don't know how many phones I've gone through in the last 5 years. It's been quite a few.
Yeah,
and
same.
like I bought one that was like $800, like straight out.
Yeah.
It was like one of the best of the best when it came out,
Mm.
and you know the battery fucked up. You can't replace it.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That's why
that's it.
They pretty much only offer 2-year warranties these days, and you have to pay like a significant percentage of the cost of the item for the warranty.
Yeah.
Because they know this shit's gonna break.
Yeah.
They try to get a 4-year warranty on a phone, you can't get it.
Yeah.
Because they know in 2 years it's pretty much toast.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's fucked up.
I think that also contributes to what you're talking about, which is like if you know that would just not. First of all, we can't make $1,000 phone if the factory was in Australia. But even if we do, we want to sell it again. Like we want to sell the phone. So let's say we do make the phone in Australia. It's now retail is $2,000. It will be, I don't know, maybe it will be better quality. Let's just say it is, like for arbitrary reasons. Now we're not going to be able to sell it again. We're not going to be able to sell that person.
For the last 10 years,
Yeah.
then we're going to be selling a phone every 10 years. Instead of Apple selling a phone every year or two. And then we're just going to lose out unless the company can
Exactly.
afford to make a loss.
Yeah.
Which doesn't really happen unless you're super wealthy and you're willing to wear it, like you when you start your diner
Yeah.
after you win lotto.
Yeah.
It's going to be awesome.
Yeah. No
But
compromise.
unfortunately,
Don't care about the profit.
yeah.
Maybe.
And that's how. And there should be more businesses like that, but it's unrealistic.
It is.
I understand
It is
why.
unreal. I mean, I think my idea is a bit like. I think my idea is designed to fail, in the way that it's like, you know, at midnight, like, you know, late at night. I've already killed like clientele. Like, there's just less clientele awake.
Yeah. Well,
I just going back to the more tangible example that I used before of like the person that opens a new cafe, but they're setting their staff out because it's no business. Yeah, that person should not be concerned with the day-to-day profits. That person should be concerned with, are these customers leaving happy? That's it.
yeah, probably. And then hopefully the profits come.
Yeah.
But yeah, you know, people have mortgages and families and kids, and they go, oh, if my business fails, I'm gonna lose my home, and then how am I gonna feed my kids and whatever? And there's so many other stresses that people.
I think we have a lot of shit. We're not thinking about it. We're just getting mortgages, getting cars, like.
Oh, people have shit they don't need. But people have way too much shit. I have too much shit.
We're following the blueprint of life, you know.
Yeah.
Get married.
Everyone's
get
brainwashed.
the house.
It's all about money. Yeah, it's all we're brainwashed as children. Oh, you need money. You got to study well at school to get into a good uni, to get a good job.
It's not even the most effective way to make money.
What is?
Working for other people is not the most effective way to make money.
Yeah, no. No, you make well.
It's not the most
you earn
effective
more
way.
money by having a business and having other people work for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you start a really good business.
Or even just start a business where you're the only one working. Like that's more. I think that's more effective.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, you'd be right if you subcontract or whatever.
Yeah.
The thing is, you got to be good at something before you can do that.
But you're not.
To become good generally takes a bit of experience.
Yeah.
So you do have to work for someone, you know, to gain some experience sometimes.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're right. Like, working for yourself is way better.
Yeah. I think we've lost the balls that we need to fucking go for stuff like that, because
also, like,
that's not part of the blueprint. The blueprint is get the job, get the good job with like benefits. Then you buy a car. Now you're out of money. Now you got it. Now you're locked into the job.
And
now you get a mortgage. Now you're locked in for life. You can't even take a risk and do your own thing out now.
That's right. Yeah.
And why do we get mortgages on houses? Because alright. Maybe we're not. It's an investment, but you're not smart enough to make any other kind of investment that doesn't require you fucking chained to this house for the next 20 years.
Yeah.
And also, Because everyone else is doing it.
Yeah, and that's why it's a good investment, because everyone else is doing it. If people stop doing it, is it really that good of an investment? If people go, you know what?
Less demand.
Yeah, I'm okay with just renting for the rest of my life. I'm not gonna get a mortgage and buy the house. If everyone starts doing that, then
it will change for sure.
yeah,
It's guaranteed. Like,
even the flashy car, like, who actually needs a flashy car?
fuck.
Sure, if you can afford it, you get it. But you hear people on, like, you know, sort of an average salary getting like a well above average priced car. Because like, fair enough, that's what they want. That's what they want to spend their money on, sure. But like, then they get chained.
Yeah.
Paying off the car.
I am sort of against it. It's like, you buy the good car, now you need good insurance. What's the car doing for you?
Yeah.
What's it doing for you? Like, unless you're like a race car driver, unless it's your passion.
Yeah.
Alright, cool. But if you just got the car so that, like, when I sit down, you'd be like, hey man, check out the seat warmers.
Yeah.
Check out this. Yeah. The LCD screen.
Yeah. Look at my nice car.
Inside, I'm like, oh, I don't give a fuck.
Yeah. Does it drive?
Even my, like, I told you before we started, like, I am pissed with my car right now. Cause what's that fucking part that it has?
The
thing that's
immobilizer.
The immobilizer. Yeah. So my car thinks I'm trying to steal it now, so it's not working. Like, why? I don't want that part in it. I paid for that part when I bought the car, yet I do not want that part is working actively against me.
Yeah. I remember one of my cars, the power windows stopped working. It's like, fuck, just give me the fucking rolly thing.
The rolly thing!
It wasn't that hard.
No. That's legit, like, fucking legit when I looked to buy a new car. Like, I just looked at the market real quick. Should I fix this car or should I get a new one? And I was like looking at older cars, and I don't know where the fuck I'm going with this. I'm getting sidetracked, but like I was looking at older cars. That's it. I was looking at older cars, even older than mine, because my car was it's fuck.
Yeah, because back in the day they built things to last.
They built things to last. They didn't build things. The thing was just meant to do what it does. Yeah. It's not meant to prevent theft. Yeah. It's not meant to like beep when I don't have my seatbelt on. It's not meant to beep when the passenger doesn't have their seatbelt on. Yeah. There's not meant to be an LCD screen that comes up and tells me that my door is open when the car is off, and then it makes the battery go flat. Like, what the fuck?
Completely. Yeah. Nowadays you buy fridges that can connect to the internet and have TVs on them. It's like, for that one time you want to watch TV on your fridge. Whoever would want to watch TV on their fridge? No one. This fucking ridiculous. But sure enough, fridges out there that you can connect to bloody Foxtel or whatever. Watch Netflix on your fridge.
I mean, it's very cool to say. Like,
it's cool, yeah. That's all it is. It's like a gimmick thing. Like, you can tell people, guess what I can do on my fridge?
Fuck.
Watch fucking Netflix.
Oh shit.
But then anyone with common sense is just like, yeah, that's retarded.
Yeah.
No one's.
You feel bad for these people sometimes.
Like,
you feel like you gotta entertain them.
How do you not?
You can't just blow their fucking mind that you don't give a shit.
Society's gone fucking weird. Man.
We've come too far.
Yeah. Yeah.
Man.
Well, this has been a good chat.
Yeah, it's been a good chat. I don't know how long it's been.
I don't know.
I think it's been like, I don't know, it's been a fair amount. I think we covered a good amount, and like, I'm not forcing it by asking you questions after we've like had our natural discussion.
Yeah, I don't even know where we would go from this.
Yeah. Fucking. I don't know, but let's leave it here. Do you have any shout outs you want to make?
Nah.
No?
Nah.
Alright.
So, shout out to whoever's listening.
Whoever's listening.
Yeah.
Shout out to my mum and Alex's old boss.
I doubt he'll listen to this.
It's only two people. If there's
I doubt I'll even listen to this. To be fair, I don't need to.
No, absolutely. No. You wouldn't. Wouldn't make sense. But yeah, man. Thanks.
Shout out to Joe Rogan.
He's listening.
If you want me on your podcast, hit me up.
That's
it. It's my manager.
We'll go more deeper into Alex's profession and the whole profession, the whole industry.
Yeah, well, not even. We just talk about
DMT. Oh,
Yeah, sure. Why not? Whatever.
discipline.
Yeah.
Working out.
Yeah, stuff like that. Just guy stuff, you know.
Guy stuff.
Yes, yeah. Or politics.
Politics.
You know, you know me. I'm quite political. So
you are quite political.
maybe next for your next podcast project. I don't know if you ever want to get into politics.
Dude, I think we need like. Even a politician wouldn't be that great to explain politics to me. I don't think. We're gonna.
Politicians can't do shit. Have you seen how they run their government?
I have that. I mean, not really. Actually, I try not to pay attention because it just makes me depressed and like.
Try to get Scott Morrison to teach you how to tie your shoes.
Dude.
You wouldn't have a fucking clue.
Dude, I was telling all my international. I remember when I think it was Scott Morrison got elected. People were like, one of my international friends asked me, "Who's the prime minister?" I was like, I actually don't know.
Yeah.
We've had 7 in the past 7 years.
Yeah.
Like I actually don't know.
It's a joke. You know what he would be able to teach you about? How to rip people off.
Why?
Oh, no, I shouldn't get too into
No.
this.
Alright, but he did take a shit at Engadine Macca's, right? Is that right? Is that real?
I do not know.
No.
I
No, he
don't
shit
think
his
that-
pants at Engadine Macca's.
Yes.
That's a story.
That's what people say, yeah. Probably real.
Fuck, yeah, I would say that's real.
Yeah.
We don't make stuff up like that.
Yeah, no. Sounds about right.
Yeah. On that note, we'll fucking end it.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, good chat, good pod. Oh, you got a ukulele?
Yeah.
Can I grace
Yeah.
the podcast?
Do us the,
I don't...
do their finale music.